Today, on Be Something Wonderful, manifesting success stories, how they did it. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Over the last few days, a few of you have been sharing your manifesting success stories. And I've actually been sharing some from some of my clients. And the one this morning that was posted on the channel was from Chloe, who said that she manifested her specific person, or her SP, and that she watched I believe she said the SP playlist through, and that she finally got it. And then quickly I saw some comments from other subscribers, questions. How did you do it? Tell me what processes you use. Give me some details. And one of you wrote this, and I really want to talk about this today. One of your comments was, I realize that there are a lot of success stories that lack content. And it would be helpful to provide some info on how you achieved it. But here's the deal. Why do they lack content? Why do they lack details? Because all of it, in all cases, the process is the person. The magic came through that person. Remember, you are the process. What did they do? They kept their vision in mind. They kept their imagined end in mind and let it go of everything else. That's what they did. The content, or the how, is your inner authority. It's the trust. It's believing in you, believing in yourself. But every time you look at success stories and you become addicted to it. Some of you said you're addicted to success stories. You're addicted to processes. You keep looking for a new process, a new story, right? Which pulls you away from your inner authority, where all that magic is. It's within you. You are the magic. It's within you. That, in each case, the reason why they can't give you details is because it's not the processes. It's the person. It's the magic within. It's trusting in that inner authority. It's trusting in your vision of your imagined end, of your wish fulfilled, right? When you're looking at a right way to do something, or looking like, is there a right way or a wrong way? You get stuck, as I said, from this book, The Magician's Way, which I'm going to talk about today, by William Whitecloud, and I'll leave a link below to the book. It's not about the right way or wrong way of doing things. That way you get stuck in the swing circle. Remember, I brought up this point and I forgot where I got it from, but it was The Magician's Way, where they use golf as an example, where you're working on the golf swing. You're not focused on the target. You're not focused on the imagined end. You're focused on getting your swing just right. And you believe if you get your swing just right, if the 3D conditions are just right, if you're doing the processes just right, then you will manifest your wish. You'll manifest your wish or your desire. That's what keeps you trapped in the processes. That's what keeps you separate from your desire. That's what keeps you separate from your inner authority. You get stuck in the swing circle. You take your eyes off the target, off the imagined end, which that is the only thing. It's not about ability. It's not about processes. It's not about that this person has better conditions to manifest. None of that. It's you're focused on what you want. It's your vision on your imagined end, and then letting that magic within you, that higher power, lead you to it. That's what we're talking about. How did they do it? What were the conditions? What were the processes? It's not about any of that. All of that focus on ability, on circumstances, on 3D conditions keeps you in linear thinking, pulls you off of the magic. Here's, guys, I really want to unpack this today. So this is what William Whitecloud says from The Magician's Way. I really suggest this book. It's so full of information. And I've talked, you're going to notice that a lot of the things that I'm talking about, I've touched on in previous videos from that book. Fear is resistance to a negative outcome. When we get stuck on looking for an answer, looking for processes, this all comes from fear or lack, looking for the magic outside of ourselves, right? Not trusting in our inner authority. It's resistance to a negative outcome, to not getting what we want, to thinking that we can't do it. The acceptance of one's negative experience is in itself a positive experience. This is Mark Manson, right? So think of it this way. Think of it this way, that this it's a real paradox, right? How do I not want what I want, right? How do I not desire what I desire? But remember, that is the paradox, right? On one end of the paradox is a strong wanting, a strong needing. That's from lack and limitation. That's from struggle. You're separate from your desire. You really need it. You really want it. And you're trying every process in the book. You're asking every person that has a success story, how did they do it? You want to duplicate that, or you want to try it because you feel stuck. You're trying. You are stuck in the swing circle. In golf, right? You're stuck practicing your swing. Your focus is not on your wish fulfilled. It's not on your imagined end. Or you run towards this end and you say, well, fine, I'm tired. I'm exhausted from doing all this. I'm exhausted from being in the swing circle. So I'm just going to give up. I'm going to give up. I'm just going to, you're indifferent now. Right? You're just going to give up. You go, okay, the desire's there, but I just give up. That is on the other end, and that's still in lack and limitation. Now you're just trying to avoid the unwanted, the situation of trying and not getting, the disappointment. You're trying to avoid disappointment. But either way, you're separate from your desire. Whatever end you're on, you are separate from everything you want. And you're not focused on the imagined end. Where do you want to be? There it is. It's in that middle. This is where the trust is. This is the manifesting sweet spot. This is the field of infinite possibilities. Here you're connected to your imagined end. Here you have that inner authority. Here you're tapping into your natural ability, your natural divinity. Just like in golf, where you keep your focus on the hole or where you want to shoot it, you let your natural ability swing through you. Right? Let that natural ability. Focus on the desired ends, right? Believing in reality creation really is about believing in yourself. That's a big opening. Let's see if we can get this a little bit more. Your temporal thoughts and feelings are not real. They're not reality. They only indicate your beliefs and assumptions about reality. Do you hear this? What happens is we look at the 3D conditions and we get caught in our assumptions and our beliefs. We believe we can't have what we want, or we believe we're going to get, or we fear we're going to get what we don't want, right? Negative emotion comes from the fear that you either won't get what you want or you'll get what you don't want. That fear is just an expression of your assumptions and beliefs. It's not reality. Hear this. Your thoughts and feelings are not, you're focused on controlling them. You're focused on coping with the fear, on coping with your thoughts and conditions. That's why you either run away, give up that desire, or you can't really give it up, but you try to not care about it, right? And as a way of feeling better, as a way of not feeling disappointed, or you try too hard. And now you're feeling more lack and more fear, right? Fear is just an expression of your assumptions and beliefs. When you assume and believe, here's the belief, guys. When you assume and believe you're connected with what you desire, you feel good. When you assume you're separate from it, you don't experience, you experience negative emotion, fear, or apathy, right? This is what we're talking about here. When you believe you're connected right here, you're imagining your end. You're feeling it, right? You feel good. You feel the sweet spot. But when you feel disconnected, either you're trying too hard, you're trying to make something happen, or you're just giving up, not trying at all. Just believing you can't have it, so I'm not going to try anymore. I don't want to be disappointed. You're not in the sweet spot. Both cases, you assume that you don't have it and that you're separate from it. Do you see this? When you assume you're connected with what you desire, you feel good. That's all that matters. Right? The thoughts and feelings are just indicative of what you're assuming and believing. If you're assuming and believing that you're connected with your desire, that you can have it, that you're focused on your desire, and that it's going to feel good. When you're not, it's not going to feel good. And then you try to cope with those feelings. You try to fix those feelings, and that takes you off that imagined end. That takes you off where the only focus you should be is on your imagined end. So let's hit this a little bit more. Instead of identifying with thoughts and feelings about reality, focus and identify with your desired imagined end. This is big. Instead of trying to coping and fix your beliefs, thoughts, and feelings, Imagine, lock onto that imagined end. Make that assumption. Make that your belief. Focus on what you love. Trust in your inner authority to lead you there. That's what they did in all cases. They focused on what they loved. They got into that sweet spot. But what happens typically, we look at 3D conditions. We have assumptions and beliefs that surface when we look at those conditions, right? That generate thoughts and feelings. We assume these perceived conditions are real because of those thoughts and feelings. And then we try to deal or cope with those thoughts and feelings. We either fight them or we flee from them. We either struggle to make something happen or we give up on it completely. Do you hear this? Looking at the conditions, then those assumptions and beliefs that we have surface, causing certain thoughts and feelings. We believe in these thoughts and feelings, and then we believe these conditions are real because we believe the thoughts and feelings are real. Then we try to deal and cope with them. All those temporal thoughts and feelings, right? You lose your focus on your desired imagined end or what you want when you try to feel better, when you try to cope with the thoughts and feelings, right? Trying to feel better by either giving up or resisting not to have it or struggling to make something happen, you exhaust yourself by running between both extremes. That's why you feel exhausted. You're trying to fix those thoughts and feelings. You're trying to get what you want, and then at the same time you're focused on the thoughts and feelings, and you're not focused on your desired end. That's why it feels so exhausting. So let's keep going here, guys. No matter what you do to resolve the negative thoughts and feelings, so no matter what you do to resolve the either you give up or you try to make something happen, your focus and attention is on the perceived problem and not the desired end. Hear this. No matter what you do to try to resolve negative thoughts and feelings, either you give up on your desire or you try to make it happen. You try to force it, you try to wrestle 3D reality to the ground. Your focus and attention is no longer on your imagined end. It's no longer on that end that you want, that end result. It's now focused, now you're caught up in the processes, on the perceived problems, right? Not your desired end. You are cut off from your natural power, from your inner authority. You don't trust yourself. You're separate from your imagined desired end or your wish fulfilled. Do you hear this, guys? You react to your thoughts and feelings as a way to compensate for your limiting assumptions and beliefs that you're separate from what you want and desire. That's all that those limiting beliefs and assumptions are, that you're separate from it, right? But you can't be when you're imagining your end, when you're focused on your end result of what you want. You're connecting with what you want. You're no longer separate from it, right? And what you don't, that your natural power to attract it, and that you don't have the natural power to attract it. So you react to your thoughts and feelings as a way to compensate for your limiting assumptions and beliefs that you're separate from what you want and desire, and that you don't have the natural power to attract it. When you're focused on your desired end, when you're focused on that end and bringing that about, now your natural power, your divine, your natural ability as a creator is going to carry you to that imagined end. But if you're focused on the thoughts and feelings about it, based on your assumptions that you're separate from it, now you're not focused on your desired end anymore. Do you hear this? This is big. So you have two choices, two realities, right? And this was outlined in The Magician's Way, which I'm going to put a link below. The reality of your temporal thoughts, the reality of lack, fear, struggle, or resignation, right? Thoughts and feelings, your reality of your temporal thoughts and feelings, constantly compensating for the limiting beliefs that you're separate from what you want and don't have it within you to realize it. Don't trust your inner authority. That's one reality, right? That's the reality you're choosing as you look for processes, as you look for success stories, as you look for ways that point you away from your inner authority, that point you away from your imagined end and your wish fulfilled. You can't, if you're looking for success stories and look at how someone did something, you're not trusting in your own imagined end. You're not trusting in your own inner authority. You're not trusting in that end goal that you want, that end result, right? Or there's the reality of your wish fulfilled, your imagined end, your vision, where you're connected to what you love and desire and you trust in your natural divinity to make it happen. That's where you feel gratitude, appreciation, love, and trust, right? Your focus creates reality, right? Stop trying to cope with fear and your negative thoughts and feelings and just acknowledge them, right? Acknowledge them, and then you're free to focus on your imagined end. Just acknowledge that they're there, and then you're freed up. Acknowledge that fear is there. Acknowledge that you fear that you won't get it. Once you acknowledge it, you're now free to move back to your imagined end, to where your focus should be. Remember, focus creates reality. So accept the possibility of not getting what you want, the fear of failure, as one quantum possibility. Let go of whether it will happen or not. Focus back on your desired end, not the negative belief, right? Become one with that desired end. So once you recognize the fear of failure, that it's there, that I may not get this unless I focus, right? That's one quantum possibility. Now you can let it go. Now it no longer has a grip on you, right? Now you can become one with that desired end. Just let that fear be there, right? Instead of being one with the negative belief. That's what happens in all cases where we're looking looking outside of ourselves, asking how someone did it. We're connected more with the negative belief and not the desired end, right? Allow the possibility to exist, but then focus on your desired end. Allow it to exist. Accept it as one possibility. It takes all the grip of that fear is gone. It no longer has power over you, right? Your natural ability as a creator will lead you to everything you want. But when you're in fear, when you're believing it, when you're believing your thoughts and feelings are reality, as opposed to just identifying what you assume and believe about reality, that's all you're ever feeling. Then you're locked onto this, right? Your natural ability as a creator will lead you to everything you want. When you're not believing in that fear, when you're not believing in those thoughts and feelings, right? Your focus determines what reality will do, not your doing or your processes. Hear this. Your focus on the desired end, on the end result, determines what reality will do, not your doing or processes. It's your focus on fear or fulfillment. That's the only question, right? How did they do it? It keeps you focused on the processes and fears. Manifesting success stories, how they did it. This is Tom Karen with the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button. Like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. You can follow us on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful. We have a group called the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors. You can follow us there at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Karen. Our website at tomkaren.com or BeSomethingWonderful.com. Guys, until next time, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, creators, see you soon.